boobs are legit. Wow. It's not me. It's him. This is already going to be chaotic and it hasn't even started. Hey guys! So today I am tipsy roasting the worst books that I have read in 2025. And there were quite a bit. And it wasn't great. And I would like you to strap in, grab a beverage, doesn't have to be alcoholic, and come on this roller coaster with me. Also, you might hear my daughter in the background. It's bedtime. We put her down. Sometimes she goes on right away. Sometimes she likes to sing to herself. But other than that, let's get started. And I don't know why I did that. But other than that, oh my god, wow. Other than that, let's jump right into it. We're going to start with the only physical book on this entire list. First off is the The Tenant by Frida McFadden. I rated this a 2.75 stars. It was a book. It's supposed to be a suspense thriller type book. It was, it was very predictable. Let's start there. It was very predictable. You guessed kind of the plot twist. Because there wasn't much else that it could have been, honestly, with everything going on. It follows Blake, and he is like a VP of marketing. He loses his job, so he's unable to pay for the new home he and his fiance have gotten together. So his fiance comes up with the idea that they get a roommate just to help until he can land back on his feet. And you probably kind of know where this is going. Like, they get a tenant, weird things start happening, he blames the tenant, the fiance is like, no, nothing's wrong, like, I don't know what you're talking about, I think you're just a little loopy after losing your job, and things like that. Great premise. The problem is, nothing happens in this book for the first 75%. The first 75% of the book, I honestly could not tell you why I was reading it. It was just monotonous, everyday, day-to-day things. You're just waiting for the shoe to drop, and there was nothing to string you along, nothing interesting that was happening. It's also hard because I didn't like not one character in the book. So the guy, like, all this stuff was happening, and he's so, like, a slimy person. Like, you don't like him either. You don't like the tenant, and you don't like his fiance. So you don't like anybody. So it's like, you don't care what's happening almost in this book. The plot twist was predictable. The big plot twist, I guessed, and then there's like a smaller plot twist, and like I didn't guess it, but it wasn't drawn on the floor crazy either. I just think that Frida is rolling books out. She's rolling them out, okay? She is rolling these books out. Literally, I think she had 3 or 4 this year, and girl, take a nap. Take a nap. You don't even gotta, you could chill. Because what was this, Frida? I didn't, and this wasn't even my first, like, I've read, like, other books by her that were way better. I'm rambling, but this book was not good. There was no thriller, suspense aspect really to it. It just felt like he had a shitty roommate, and then boom, here's a plot twist at the end. I would not recommend this book, unfortunately. The next book is The Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger. It was a kind of a dark romance, kind of just more like moody. I found this book on Instagram. This could have been my problem. This is on me. I'll take it. It's on me. What it's advertised as on Instagram is not what you read. I'll say that much. And I think going into a book thinking it's going to be a certain way, and then you start reading it and it doesn't, it also throws you out of the book. And also, once you read the book, you get why they can't tell you that. But also, and I can't tell you, like, it also has another, like, taste of another genre. But if you tell somebody that, it ruins the entire book. It ruins everything. Also, if you're looking for trigger warnings or anything like that, I could not find any on the book. I couldn't find any online or anything like that. I'll leave the ones that I remember on the screen. And that also is frustrating because there were certain topics that were happening in the book that I think that if people knew about, they would have kind of steered clear of. This book follows a lady named Kayla, who just recently lost her husband to a fishing accident. And on the same day that she comes home from the funeral, she gets a letter from an inmate who says that he's in love with her and that he's been waiting for her and yada yada. And so as the story goes along, it kind of is going through her grief and her like relationship with this pen pal, and then she's also meets someone else during the story as well who she also starts having feelings for, and it's kind of her navigating all these different relationships. And that is all I can say. That is all that I can say without ruining the whole entire plot of the book. And I think that is where my rating came from, because you read this book and you get the aspect of what it is, and then when you start putting everything together, it pisses you off. I wish there was more I could say about it, but I gave it a 2.5 stars. It was not a good time for me, and I would not recommend it either. Also, the pen pal aspect of the book felt very unnecessary, because once you got all the pieces of the book that you needed, it was almost like just added for shock factor. It wasn't added for anything else. Next up is the lowest rated book of the entire plethora of books I'm going to talk about, and that is Call Me Daddy by Jade West. I tried to find a review, a detailed one, because I usually write them, and all I wrote was, what in the grooming hell is this? So I'm assuming the older guy and the younger girl aspect did not do it for me. So it follows a girl, and the man's name is Nick. Their names aren't important, because there's 2 stars, they're irrelevant. She's stranded on her birthday. Her best friend is crappy and leaves her on her birthday at a club and goes home with a guy. Nick comes upon her, who's quite a bit older, and is like, I can help you, I can take you home. But her friend has her keys, her friend's at the house with the guy. He's like, you can stay at my place. Excuse me? Red flag galore. Why would I come to somebody's house I don't even know, because I don't have my keys in my house? I will sit outside. I don't even want to ride from you. First of all, I wouldn't have even got in the car. But anyway, she got in the car with this man she doesn't know, that she just met, and it was like, oh my goodness, my friend has my keys. Oh, you can stay at my place, darling. Oh, thank you so much, sir. And then she's 18. Oh, you know me. One thing I will say I hate is the virgin trope. Only because why is it always the oldest fuck dude that takes it? So she's a virgin. She's 18. She's so innocent. She's so innocent. And then like they build a relationship. She finally makes it home. When she gets home, like someone trashed her place. So then another reason to make her stay at his house, right? So then she like ends up staying with him so she can figure that out and get it renovated. And then they form a romantic relationship, and it just felt like he was grooming her. She was so naive in her head, made her call him daddy, and she was a child almost. And that's the relationship they had. Like, she had to ask him to do things, ask him for permission to go here or do that, or like, it's like if you're with your parent and you're a little kid, but they weren't. I'm all for an age gap. I'm not an age gap hater. I read The Birthday Girl and I actually liked it, but this was too much. This was too much. Jade West, we gotta talk. I don't even know if I want to read another book by her. Like, you could send me a book that could be 5 stars to me, I would not touch it. After whatever this was, after this, and his name was Nick. So if that's your thing, if like the daddy kink is your thing, I don't think this was done well. But it was very older man likes little kid-esque. If you get the drift of the word that I want to use, but I'm afraid that YouTube will ban it. That's all for that book. That book was not great. That book was not good. Okay, we're done talking about that book. Let's move on. The next book I rated a 3.25 stars, and that was Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. And it hurts me to say that because I really enjoyed Lights Out. I think the problem and the difference was the way the men were portrayed, where Josh was kind of like the funny, kind of quirky, stalked in a cute way, where Nico did not. Like, I just feel like he followed this girl since high school and did all this stuff and was so mean, and not mean, but kind of brushed her off until he wanted her, and then it was, now he wanted to try change his life. And I don't know, so I guess I should give you a synopsis. If you haven't read Lights Out, Caught Up is following a guy from Lights Out who is the main, the female main character's cousin. And then he wants to get out of the family business of the mob so that he can pursue a girl that he loved. And it was okay. The girl is also a sex worker. She does like OnlyFans-esque type stuff. I just don't think I liked them, the couple. I don't like the people that much. I like the side characters were okay. I think the heat was heating. The spicy scenes, spicy, beautiful, immaculate, great. That was the only part that really like was interesting to me, whereas the couples were not. I think the third act conflict was dumb, could have been avoided. I didn't enjoy reading about them, and I felt like I was always skimming to see how many pages I had left in the chapter, and I know that's a sign that I'm not enjoying a book. And it just didn't hit the same as the first one. I think it's because Nico is so, what's the word? Like, Josh had a personality. He was very charismatic. Even in like your head, like when you read him or listened to it, he was very charismatic, where Nico was just more straight, like kind of boring. So then you have him, and then you have the girl who's also doesn't have much personality, so it was hard to kind of get excited and want to keep reading the book. But I hate that this is on the list because I really did enjoy Lights Out, but I did not enjoy this one. Wow, I don't know what my hair looks like. This is how you know you shouldn't drink and do a video, because what is this? I'm never doing this again. Next book, I wanted to get into Catherine Cowles. I see a lot of her on Instagram too, and it looked good, and like the reviews on Goodreads were 50-50, so I thought I would give it a shot. Obviously it didn't go well if it's on this video, but I read Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles. I gave it 3 stars. So I would like to say I'm not a harsh rater. 3 stars is not great. 3.5 and up, I would consider you were a decent, good book. 3 and under, you were not good. So if you had a 2, I really had to pull out some hate for you. So 3, I would say, is my like cutoff. Oh my god. I'm never making another one of these videos because this thinking is not happening this late at night already. And then you add the tipsy aspect. It's just not fun. This book takes place in Sparrow Falls. It is the second in the series. It follows Thea and Shep, and Thea's on the run, kind of, not criminally, she's on the run from a cyber abusive ex who destroyed her life, her past life, did a lot of really bad things and mean things to her, and kind of was stalking her, so she moved to a place that she would not be found, no one would know who she was, to start over and start a new life. She obviously loves the place she moved to, is starting to actually build relationships with people, but still is very guarded, and she has some issues, and Shep owns a construction company, so she has some issues with her home, and he comes to look at them, and it turns into like she's starting to trust them, form a friendship, form a bond, and then obviously, as every book would have it, when you have things you're running from, it's catching up with her, and then other things are also happening, and their relationship was really beautiful to watch. It just felt like it dragged on and on and on and on. It felt like things were just getting thrown in there for the shock value of it, and I think her books follow a very certain pattern, and every single one is seeming, and I don't want to say every single one, but the 2 that I've read so far, I follow the exact same kind of plot line, and I did not enjoy it. This one, I gave the first one a 3.5, this one's a 3, and I'm nervous that I read the next one and it'll get a 2.5, and then just keep going down, you know, because you kind of get where it's going, and it's just very wordy. I am not gonna lie to you, if you ask me how many takes it took for me to be able to say all of that in a sentence, it might have been 3. It might have been 3. I could not put into words how I felt about this book. They were very interesting. I found it on Instagram. So that might be, I might just stay away from the Instagram books for a while. You know, I think that there's a trend going here. I've read books by her before, and they also followed a similar pattern, but the characters I felt like were more like relatable, and you fell in love with them, and they were just better characters, and you just felt like you cared about them. You know, let's move on. The next book was Checked and Balanced by Aurora Steinhardt. I gave that one a 3 stars. It's a hockey romance, and I will get back to you because after these few messages, I don't remember what it's about. This book follows Tiana and Gunnar. Tiana is a lawyer for the Stags, which is a hockey team, a professional hockey team. Her dad is the coach. And then Gunnar is a rookie player. She comes in, meets the team. He sees her and is like, who was that? Shout it. From there, he keeps kind of edging away at her. Turns out like they move into, like, when he moves into an apartment building. He moves right next to her without unknowingly, obviously. So there's like forced proximity. It's a reverse grumpy sunshine. He's the sunshine and she's the grump. There was no plot whatsoever. And first of all, let me tell you, eating it up in the beginning. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, eating it up. Then things got weird. The spice, it wasn't even the spice. It was literally just, it just kept going. Also, there wasn't a third act conflict, but there was where, so obviously with her working for the team, they shouldn't date, and then it was found out that they did. So then she had to leave until she could figure out a way that they could be together without him either leaving the team or her leaving her position. And like that was done okay, but this is where things were weird. So her mom is also like the lawyer. She's like the head of their lawyer branch or whatever. And so her mom is the one that's like, you have to figure this out. Okay, cool. She made them have a fake court. Is this a spoiler? This isn't a spoiler. She made them have like a fake trial for it and everything. And I felt like the trial was just done really to take up chapters. And then also the couple, like they got to know each other and they like got to know each other well too fast. I feel like we're already saying, I think I love you. We're already thinking about buying diamonds and we haven't even been together a full month. For me, it was just very fast, and it was just like, whoa. Because I'm all for, give me the smut me up, okay? I feel like that, I'm not a prude when it comes to any of that. That was great. If we're not going to have a plot, let's not have a plot. But then I feel like she still was trying to have a plot, but then she was having too much plot, but then she was trying to have no plot, and it was like, what is happening? And I just don't know. It just was too much. But I would recommend it. First book I said that for. I would recommend it because I think for someone else who, because some people like loved it. They loved just reading along with their day-to-day monotony of all the ways like their relationship was like forming and blooming and everything. So like I would recommend it for somebody who just is looking for a no like thinking about it book. I just didn't enjoy it. And that's it. Last but not least, I told a little fibula. I have one more physical book that I read, and it's called He Knows When You're Awake by Ulta Hensley. I was perusing book ideas, books for Christmas, because I thought I was going to do a reading Christmas books video, and it just didn't happen. And I got this book, and it's supposed to be a dark romance Christmas themed book. Okay? Right? I'm trying to get into dark romance. It follows Sloan and Cole. Cole is a billionaire and owns a jewelry business, and Sloan has a dream of owning her own business. Cole kind of stalks her and watches her, puts cameras everywhere she is because he loves her work and her designs, and so he makes this extravagant offer, flies her to Sweden, and it's like, I want to work for you, and then says, you have to live with me and you will work in this room where there's cameras everywhere. Okay. You know, it was trying to give that kind of like stalkery-esque feel, but Cole was a very like grump and Sloan was the sunshine. I'm treading lightly with being, you know, it's the holiday season. I don't want someone to like get a clip of this and be like, wow, what a snagglepuss. But this, first off, the stalking. He stalked her, watched her, had cameras everywhere, knew everything about her, knew her coffee order, knew her size of her clothes, knew everything to the T. And you know, sometimes in dark romance, for me, that's hot, that's cool, that's great. But it's just the fact that like he was so controlling about it. And that was one of his like down plays, was like he was overly controlling, so everything had to be done how he wanted to be done. I'll send you an outfit, that's what you're wearing, and you're doing this. And Sloan did well at kind of putting them off. And the spice was good. I think the spice was well done, and it did show some different. It wasn't just like your ordinary spice. They had a little little sprinkle of razzle dazzle in there sometimes ish. And there was also a villain, so to speak, in this book, and I feel like it wasn't really addressed until the very end, and then you get like the shock factor of, oh my god, this bad thing is happening, and then it's just like kind of rushed to end. I did enjoy watching him try to be the man that she wanted him to be, kind of, for lack of better words, and come out of his shell a little more. But again, the stalking just was done so not well, and there was never anything that was like fleshed out. She just kind of took that as like, that's who he is, and girl, no, like where are my independent women? Destiny's Child did not freaking make that song for nothing. I know the book wouldn't happen without the craziness, but we're really just gonna move into some guy's house that we don't know at all and found out he was stalking us, and we're just gonna just jump ship. Oh, and he had all her stuff sent to the house already because he just figured she would say yes. He knows when you're awake, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently this is the second book in the series. He's best friends with the girl from the first one, and I looked up the synopsis and it's very similar, stalkery type thing. And there's a way to do stalking. There really is, where it's only in the book community can you say there's a way to do stalking well. There is a way to do stalking where it's not like this. He saw her work and then just like clamped on and then just started fetishizing her like the entire time, and was like watching everything she did from everywhere. And when she found out about it, she wasn't happy like that. Obviously that turns into a big thing, so like that happens. But I just feel like he wasn't done in like a broody way. He was just done in like a overbearing, creepy way, and I think that's why I rated it like a 2.5 stars. There's nothing dark about this but the fact that there was a villain and they like dealt in some shady stuff. That was probably the darkest part, and then he stalked her was the darkest part of this whole entire thing. It wasn't like it could have been in any book, and I think because they added certain elements to the spice that they thought maybe it should be dark romance. It was not. It was not dark romance to me. I would recommend that book actually, because for someone else that's the type of dark romance that they're into. They would eat that up. I didn't. And I don't know what my type of dark romance is. I don't know, okay? I'm still trying to find it. Maybe it's not for me, and that's fine. That's fine too. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I don't know what this video is going to be. I don't know. I came in with the idea that tipsy rating my worst books of 2025 would be great. And I'm leaving this video feeling like I don't even know what I said. So that's that. But if you enjoyed it and you want more of it, I will always crack open a carbless for you. Okay. That was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you, I don't want to say I hope you got recommendations because I didn't recommend many of them, but I hope you had fun. I hope it passed some time for you. I hope you have a great holidays. I hope you get to spend it with the people you want to spend it with. If you celebrate Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, and talk to you later. Bye!